people are always saying like, well, why do you need to detox? Like the body should be working normally. But I'm sorry, we don't live in a normal world anymore. We don't live in an organic world anymore. I see the damage that does to people that are living a normal life. They don't know any different. You don't know that the potential of your body could be so much more.
Hello and welcome to another podcast. Today I'm really excited to introduce you to Sazzu. Sazzu is a colon hydrotherapist, but in other words, the way I actually describe her, she is the poop lady. Now, we're going to be serious. We're going to be talking about how you can have the best poop, why it's important to clean out your colon, and how you can really reconnect to your body. So as always, guys, we have conscious conversations with coconuts, and today my special guest is Sazzu. Sazzu, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm amazing. I hope that's okay that I introduce you as the poop lady.
That's fine. That's how I'm known on the island anyway, so I think I'm good.
Maybe we should explain to people what you actually do. So tell me what the poop lady does.
So, I mean, I have been doing for 11 years, giving colonic sessions. So it is, I mean, it's a few things together. So the colonics is part of it, but also there's a lot of detox and yeah, like teaching people how to actually poop better, which is actually my Instagram handle, poop better.
Poop better.
Yeah.
And what I love the most, I mean, I love the sessions we'll go into and when we
Yeah.
get a bit more serious, why they're so important. But you actually go around your house and you've got poop stickers.
Yes, I have poop stickers. I have a poop pillow now.
Poop
I'm
pillow.
very excited about this. One of my friends actually left it on my porch and I didn't know.
Oh, gift.
And I was like, where did this come from? And then eventually I found out that it came from her, but I have washed it and set it in my colonic room, which is my bathroom.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's fun. It's actually fun to just make fun of it because it's such a taboo subject. Like people just don't talk enough about poop, and this is something that is so essential to being human.
Yeah.
It's like the thing that we do every day, you know? So
Why on earth are you so, because I can see it and I can feel it. When I come around your house, this isn't fake. Like every time I go around a house for a poop session, you are just so passionate at telling me about what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, why are you so passionate about poop and helping people poop?
Well, I felt the difference in my own body. Like when my first colonic was actually quite traumatic. It was with a machine and
Machine?
Yeah, it was a machine colonic. So there are different types of colonics.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. I do the gravity, but the machine colonic was really quite harsh on me. And I actually don't know, but I wanted to try again. And when I tried it again, I felt like such a relief in my body. I just felt like so light and so good. And I was doing a lot of detox protocols at the time. And this helped me. This helped me so much. So for me now, it's like I want as many people to at least experience this. And my biggest goal with it is that people leave my house, my treatment room, wanting to do it again. That's all. You know, that's the whole thing. I just want them to at least want to try to do it again. It doesn't have to be with me, with anybody.
Yeah.
But I want them to do it again or to be open to it because I just know the benefits of it.
Well, it definitely works because on a serious note, I come back to you and have sessions, right? And sometimes I listen to my body and I'm like, all right, I need to see Sazzu. And I'm like, can I have a poop? But anyone listening at home, they're like, what are they talking about? They've gone straight into it. You literally put a tube up my bottom.
It's a speculum that's attached to a tube. It's a whole system, but it's all based in gravity. So it's very kind and gentle to the body.
What does that mean, based in gravity? Like,
It means that there's no force. The colon doesn't really like being pushed. It doesn't like force. It doesn't like being filled. So when people do enemas or something like that, they're actually forcing the colon quite a lot.
and the colon, just for like...
It's just the large intestine. The large intestine is attached to the small intestine, is attached to the stomach, is attached to the throat.
Wow.
Right?
Didn't
So
know that.
this is like the system.
This is the big bit that goes around like it looks like a spaghetti.
That one's the small intestine.
Okay.
The large one goes from the right side up, down the ribs to the other side, and then down. And then out of the body.
And that comes out and then you put the tube in.
Yeah, but I'm only working with the large intestine. I'm only working with the colon. I'm not working with the small intestine. It does affect the other aspects of digestion, but it's not directly related to what I do.
And then so I'm literally laying on the bed, right? I'm laying there, and I mean, the first time I'm there, I'm all nervous. Sazzue's a very pretty woman, and I'm sitting there. You can take your pants off, and you can lay in the bed. I'm like, oh my God.
I say everything from the waist down. I don't say pants.
Everything from the waist down, because she's very professional.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like sitting on there, like sort of like just my t-shirt on, thinking, oh my God. And then there's a tube about to go up my.
Yeah, but you're also covered with
I'm
the
covered
sarong.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm actually making it kind of like some dirt.
Yeah.
Very professional, and she's very clean.
It's funny because I live on an island where people are very free.
Yeah.
And they love being naked. So some people are like, I don't need that. And I'm like, yeah, you do.
Put that around you.
Put it on. That's for me. That's not for you. You know.
Amazing.
So it's been a running joke for me. Like I make fun of it, but I really do want to keep it as that and clean and professional and everything.
Super professional.
Yeah. So that everything is like. So the people feel really safe. Like I want them to feel safe in my room, you know, in my space.
Well, every single time I've had a session, I've had probably like a dozen. I don't know how many.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
It's been a few
Yeah,
sessions, right?
yeah.
I like to poop. I mean, like at the end of the day, I actually really enjoy getting up in the morning. I've got my little meditation book in my toilet. I sit down, I read the meditation book, and I just have a nice poo, right? Mm-hmm. But then when I come to you, it's like a 30-minute poo. It's like it's incredible. It's like the best feeling. But what I want to say is every single one of them has been so different.
Yeah.
But there's been some where I felt a bit queasy and a bit sick.
Yeah.
There's some where I've come out just felt so lightheaded and just free. Mm-hmm. Like, why is that? Like, what is actually going on inside?
Because we're different all the time. We're changing. So the colonic is just a reflection of where you are in that space and time, you know? So I have some people that their colonics can be pretty consistent, but some people, their colonics change all the time. Like mine change all the time. So, and I think it's a good thing because it's just giving you information. For me, everything that happens in the colonic room is information. That's why I love having a monologue of like, this is happening, this is happening.
She tells you,
this is happening.
There's a bit of gas, oh, there's a bit of that. And I'm like, oh, you haven't been chewing properly. I'm like, this is insane. You're like, poo witch doctor.
I call it a tea leaf reading, but with poop. But with poop, you know, because I am getting to really know what's happening inside you, you know, and
that's fascinating.
It's all information. Like, I don't ever like making anybody feel that there's something wrong with them, that they're not doing something right. That's not the objective of it. The objective is just like, okay, this is what's happening. Now, what are we going to do about it? Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
You know?
You've always gave me some tips, like simple things of chewing better and what food. So why is it important to clean out your colon then? Why? I mean, it's inside with pooing, so why is it important people go off and do these things?
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of arguments with people where they're saying, well, but you're supposed to be doing this naturally, right? Yeah, we're also supposed to be eating completely organic food, not having all this medication and all these chemicals and all this radiation around us. And you're expecting your body to work properly on its own? Like, that's just, it doesn't have any logic to it. So people are always saying like, well, why do you need to detox? Like, the body should be working normally. But I'm sorry, we don't live in a normal world anymore. We don't live in an organic world anymore. Yeah. We're living in a world where there's a lot of damage that's actually being like thrust upon us. So now we need to deal with that damage. And the colonics is what does that at a very deep level and very quickly. So
especially for people living in, like, we're so lucky, not lucky, we've made choices to create this lifestyle that we live, right? Living in Thailand on this island. But especially for people that are living that sort of 9 till 5 in the city, the fast food, kind of like, you know, the way the food, like you say, is being processed. Like, I can imagine, like, I'm just thinking, you've really turned me into like a poop man now. I'm just imagining what their insides are like.
But I started in New York City. I don't think there's any busier, dirtier
you started
city.
in New York City?
Yeah, I started giving colonics in New York City. Yeah. Like, I started my whole journey when I was living in New Jersey, but I worked in New York City. So I see the damage that does to people that are living a normal life. Like, the colonics here are very different from the colonics
in what way? Like,
there's people over there, they don't release that much. They don't release that much, no. Like, there's more gas than anything.
And what's that a sign of, gas? Like,
yeah. And I'm talking about the regular people. I didn't have a lot of like I was working in a different way. I didn't have a lot of people that I was seeing regularly. I was just getting a lot of random people that were coming to the clinic.
Yeah.
And I had like a few clients that were doing regular work with me. I hadn't built like my own client roster like I have now, right? But if I just look at normal person, their colonics were a bit shit.
Literally.
Yeah. Like, or not literally, because there wasn't that much coming out because their bodies were just not releasing. And it's counterintuitive because you think that the people that are that have the most inside, that eat the shittiest, that they will have more poop. And yes, the poop is there and is accumulated. But they won't release. The people that will release are the people that are the cleanest.
Okay.
The people that are doing the work with like the green juices and the lifestyle and the stress release and all of that. I think the biggest difference is the fact that people in the Western world are very, very stressed. So...
And you can tell that from that poop, like if they're pooping or not.
Totally. Like I also get people here that are just doing like health tourism or traveling, and they're coming to me and I can almost tell that they're coming from the Western world and they don't live here because it's very easy to tell. Like they're just so gassy and like not much wants to come out. Like they're so stressed, their body's like holding on. It's like a clench, right? Yeah. So the way that the colonics works gives me so much information, and then I can just relay that information and just, if they want, they can get some tips from me or they can just do their own thing,
So you give them tips after so they can go off and...
I do try during the session, actually. Like I try during the session to tell them, oh, I'm seeing this and maybe you can try doing this or, how do you feel about this? Like, or how is that working for you? Like, what's happening there? Like... Yeah, I even tell people, so like, how are we with like control? Like, I don't want to call them control freaks, but like I can totally tell when someone is like, wanting to control everything, and I'm like, yeah, like their body is just so clenched. Like it's a sad situation. I think like when it comes to this, the physical work of like eating healthier and all of that is one thing, but the nervous system work is another. Like you have to work with your nervous system. You have to calm your body down. You have to allow the body to like want to release,
And naturally, I'm guessing the body wants to do it naturally, right? Like
totally.
If you go back years ago, we probably just ate and pooped naturally and went off and did some exercise or running and hunting. Then we kind of ate and pooped and just sat around and ate, It was just natural. But now, like you're saying, it's funny because when you're saying that, it's making me think of what we learned first when we did the yoga teacher trainings and the breath work, is that so many people hold their breath. They're not really breathing and they're stuck in the chest. And it was just kind of, I know it's a bit different, like the breath and the poop, but it's kind of the same. It's like we're holding on to everything.
It's all the same.
And we're too scared to maybe just relax and surrender and let go. And you can see that in people's stomachs.
Totally. Yeah.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah, it's awesome.
What is the complete side note, because it popped into my head, so I need to ask it.
Sure.
The most embarrassing moment you've had with a poop experience. Have you ever had anyone like, has it gone wrong before, or anyone got really freaked out?
Not gone wrong. I've had 2 sessions where the person just exploded on the table.
No way.
Yeah. And for me, it's fine. It's not an issue. Like I put towels down and I prepare the room so that if this happens, then it's fine. And for me, it's not an issue. Like I've had poops all over my hands before.
Just as you saying it, I'm like, you're talking with such a straight face. And in my mind, I'm like, like.
I'm a colon therapist. When I studied this, I knew what came with the job. Yeah. Occupational hazard is that, yes, at some point there will be poop all over your hands. And I trained without gloves. Now I wear gloves. Yeah. But I trained without gloves. Like they told us, no, you cannot wear gloves. Like gloves like impairs your ability to feel the person, your ability to know what you need to do. Like, so I trained with that. And when the first situation, which was in New York, happened, it was a bit like this. It was like, and I'm like, in my hands, everything is just there. I'm like, all right.
You just carried on.
Yeah, because I want the other person not to feel that there's anything wrong, because there is nothing wrong.
Well, I love what you just said. It's like such a taboo, like sex or poop. It can be like we get all. I know I'm being silly and cheeky, but it is kind of taboo. But really, it's just like, well, it's just life. It's just natural, right? Why have we made it so taboo?
Because it's dirty. Because people don't want to think about it. I think that's the problem. Like, another rule that I have in my colonic room is that I don't want people that come in with cell phones.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, you need to feel your body. You need to feel what's happening. Like, it's like, oh, can I be on my phone? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Like, I laugh at them sometimes. Yeah. I'm like, no. No, absolutely not. Like, people are so disconnected from their body. They're so disconnected, especially from this part of their body.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, if you're going to be on your phone, like, you're not going to feel anything. And then if something actually is building up and it all of a sudden comes, then you're going to be freaked out. And that's another reason why not. No, no. You want to actually connect with this part of you. If your listeners actually decide to go for a colonic, gravity colonics, please.
Gravity.
Then, like, really, really go in with the intention of feeling yourself, of feeling what's actually happening, like, not disconnecting from it or thinking that there's anything wrong with it. You know, that's like such a big, important thing. I don't know.
No, I like it a lot. I mean, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but my first one wasn't actually with you. My first one was in Koh Samui, and I actually took a girl out on a date, and we went for a colonic.
Cool.
We was in Koh Samui on a yoga retreat, and we was just. I asked her, "Have you ever done it before?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, should we go out?" And I didn't realise it actually turned into a date. So we had the colonic, and then we went out, and it kind of like stuck in our heads, and we were just laughing about it.
Yeah.
But I remember how nervous I was on that first one. With you, I feel so comfortable because now I know you. This little Thai lady, you know, I remember kind of getting sort of like taking my pants off and like putting the towel around me and laying on the bed. I was so bright, and then she literally just moved this thing, and I could see it. Like, sometimes you can see it and you say it, but then she just gave me this kind of like wisdom, this knowledge bomb, and she just explained everything like you do for me that was going on. And I must say now, and you can tell me if I'm going crazy, this is a story in my head, but now I generally feel like when I need, it's like my belly will tell me to text you. My body is like, oh, we need to go and see Sazzu and have a poop.
Absolutely.
But whereas before it was just, I was just doing it because I thought it was something to do. Now I honestly feel like some intelligence is in me. It's like, yeah, it's time to release. Is that natural, or is that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, especially if we're more connected with our bodies, we kind of start feeling when there's a little bit more accumulation. So we will accumulate. Unfortunately, we just don't release as much as we eat. And we also have to consider the fact that poop is not just food. It's also all the waste that the body is trying to get rid of. So,
what do you mean the waste? Like, what's
like dead cells, toxins, anything else? Like, the body will try to release it through all the elimination channels that it has. And the one that does the most effective job is the colon. The skin is another one. Urine is another one. So
it's trying to get out and release the body.
Yeah.
From the body.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, if you're just going about normal life, then you will eventually feel like, oh, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit heavier or a little bit, like, sluggish, like, just a little bit more uncomfortable, like, not as good in your body. But it takes a while to get there, too. Like, I feel like also if someone comes for the first time, it's so difficult because they don't know any different. Like, you don't know that the potential of your body could be so much more.
Oh, I
right?
love that. Yeah.
So you're coming and you're probably inflamed, like full of gas, like, and all this stuff is happening. And until you experience the colonic or the release, then you don't really know that that was affecting you or bothering you because you're just used to it.
It becomes normal.
It becomes a normal,
I think what you said there is such a great metaphor for life in general. There's so much potential in everybody, whether it's their mind, whether it's their body, you know, whatever it is, but we just don't see it because we just think it's normal.
Yeah.
And then you go for a poop with you, I see how light I feel, or I do a 30-minute meditation and my mind is just empty and then I have new ideas about something. So I think you're so right there. It's really about connecting to that and then releasing it to see, oh my God, I don't have to feel lazy or overweight if I just did more of these or more exercises or ate right food, right? What are the benefits then to people? Like if someone's listening at home, like Brett and Sazzu talking about poop, you know, what would be the benefits for somebody at home that's never done this, you know, thinking about it? What would they get from it? Guys, I know you're enjoying the video, but I've got a quick question for you. Are you okay with that monkey mind being a monkey? We've all got this voice inside the head, or voices filled with self-doubt, criticism, judgment. But most people don't understand how important it is to master that monkey mind. So look, if you've got a monkey mind or a voice that is just busy inside your head and it never seems to shut up, I know exactly how you feel. And thankfully, I found meditation about 20 years ago. And so, I have an amazing opportunity for you. It's the Bodhi Meditation Teacher Training Program. This 10-week program is designed to share with you 8 Bodhi meditations. And the amazing thing about these meditations is that they are scientifically proven to help you reduce stress, reduce anxiety, uplift your mood, boost your energy. In other words, create that kind of lifestyle, that energy and that health and that happiness that most people crave. Over the course of 10 weeks, I'm going to be your meditation coach. And at the end of this course, you're going to become a certified Bodhi meditation teacher. That means that you can coach people one-to-one, you can work from anywhere in the world, build online courses, or even teach meditation at yoga retreats or anywhere you decide. So click that link below and together will open up your heart so that you wake up feeling positive and literally this buzz for life. The link is below. Now you can get back to your video. Have an amazing day.
So the most direct would be improved digestion. So you have the entire digestive system that is affected by something like this or other types of colon cleanses. The other one is the fact that if you look at how we heal or the healing system, most of our energy goes to maintenance and then the rest of it goes to digestion. So what that means is that we have our organs that need to work. So our energy is going, like we have a limited supply of energy every day. Like maybe we can have more energy than we have, but we have the amount of energy that we have based on like the food that we eat, how we drink, our lifestyle, our energy, like our exercise level or whatever. We have like a cap on that, right? And if we are using most of that for digestion, then we don't really have extra energy for healing. So if there's things that are happening in the background that are accumulating that can build up to something more dangerous, like or even life-threatening down the road, right? Then you have something like this that can actually help because you're taking away like days of poop that you would have needed to do. Your body would have needed to use all that energy to digest and to move that out, and you're doing it in one session.
Now I feel more energy when I come out. I feel light and energized.
Yeah.
I'm like, woof.
That's the best way. Like some people do feel a bit more tired just because their body worked a lot. Like, but the normal best way is that you would feel more energy, and it makes sense because you just have to look at how it works, how the body works, right? So yeah, I mean, people have used this for healing because if you're removing the digestion factor or a lot of the digestion factor at the end of digestion, not at the beginning, but like towards the end, then you have a lot of extra energy that your body can use for other things. So, and that is like a million things that you could do with that, So for me, like when I have a headache when I'm feeling like I'm getting a sore throat, when I have like a rash or anything is happening in my body, the first thing that I think about is I'm going to go get a colonic.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to give myself a colonic, really. But before it used to be like, I'm going to go get a colonic.
You actually give yourself your own colonic.
Yes.
If I did that, I'd be all over the place.
I do it with my feet. I do it with my feet. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, so like the body basically, I love this, the energy, because I'm so about the energy and this intelligence within us. It knows exactly what to do and it will go around. But then if you've put loads of crap into your body, literally food, then it's not going to go to the right places. It's going to, be too busy doing something like breaking down the processed food you buy at 7-Eleven or a sweet shop.
Exactly.
So if you kind of... But not everybody's going to be super healthy overnight, and we get that.
Yeah.
But what we can do is like have this really good poo for 30 minutes, and then it will help the energy go back and heal other organs or places that might need that love.
Yeah. Yeah, and also you have to consider overeating. Like we're just overeating so much. Like even me to this day, like I feel like I eat more than I need to. I'm working on it. Like I've worked on it before, it's a thing for me. But I think in general, people just eat too much and you're overtaxing your body in that way, so.
This is why I remember listening to somebody talking, he was saying like, when you go to sleep, you sleep and your mind will switch off or something, or you'll go to the gym 5 days a week and then you'll have like a day off, so your body will relax. But the only thing that doesn't really switch off or relax is your stomach, your colon, right? Because you're eating, it's digesting, you're eating, and then you're eating, like you said, so many people are eating maybe too much or overeating, and then it's kind of like overstressing the body.
Yeah.
And so he was saying like have 1 or 2 days fast in a month just to give your body a rest.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really such a wise thing, because that's the only thing that doesn't actually rest. When you sleep, your mind is off for a moment, or maybe, and when you don't go to the gym, your body can relax. But if you're just constantly eating, all of that stuff is going around.
Yeah.
Would you say something like maybe skipping a meal now and then, or having a day off of food and just doing fasting, is that beneficial as well? Or
I like fasting. I've done fasting for the last 15 years, and it's a really, really good practice. Now I do juice and also dry fasts here and there. I also think like considering 1 meal a day can be like a very helpful thing. And just considering how much do you actually need to eat, and also in terms of digestion. Okay, I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole. I'm gonna do it. Okay. In terms of digestion, you definitely want to consider eating lighter foods rather than heavier foods. So things that take longer to digest.
Such as, give me, what's a heavy food like?
So meat would be one, because it just takes a really long time. I think like 8 to 12 hours to digest in general. Maybe some meats less than others, like fish might be lighter to digest than like red meat, for example. But you have something like sweet potato or potato that does take a really long time to digest compared to a salad, or nuts that take a really long time to digest compared to fruit. So you have those things as well. And then there is food combinations and food order, which I am drilling into every single client when they come to me, because everybody's filled with gas. Like I get to help them release very well here, but the gas and the bloating is like a nightmare right now for everybody. And the thing that I tell everybody is try to eat from light to heavy throughout the day, and try not to combine too many things in one meal. And definitely do not put fruit at the end of any meal, please.
So fruit first.
Fruits at the beginning of the day only. Please, please. It's so bad for gas and digestion in general. It like creates a lot of fermentation inside of the body, and then like just creates like a mess.
That's kind of crazy because I don't remember my mum and dad actually saying you eat your fruits after your dinner, but it was never, it was like you eat your dinner and then you might have fruit or chocolate
Yeah,
ice
for
cream.
dessert.
Dessert, yeah.
Yeah, no.
And I remember
Yeah.
being in a yoga teacher training once with my
That's
mate
exactly
Mikey,
what
and
they
he was
do.
always saying you eat your fruits first 20 minutes before you eat your dinner.
Yeah.
And I know Antonio, the cameraman's always like, you don't drink before you eat your food as well.
Yeah.
Like you drink 30 minutes before or something.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning myself.
So I also don't drink with my meals, like ever.
Because that does what?
It affects the stomach acids, so you don't want to be affecting the digestion.
Yeah.
So if it dilutes the stomach acids and you digest worse than you would normally. So like drink before, like wait, like 30 minutes would be ideal, but even 10 minutes, 5 minutes is fine.
Yeah.
Let the liquids pass through and then start your meal.
Because normally I scoff my food down and I'm drinking a drink. at the same time,
it's
right?
like it really affects the acidity in the stomach, which affects digestion. So,
Is this a myth? I have a question. I've been a vegan for nearly 15 years, something like that. I can't remember, I don't count, but a long time. Somebody said that meat that's in your body can be in there for years. Is that true? In the colon?
Yeah.
That's true?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's sticky. Like, there's a lot of things that are very sticky, and they get stuck in the colon. Yeah, and things that are heavier to digest. And you also consider, like, say if someone is really stressed. When someone is stressed, the energy goes to the stress, not to digestion.
The energy goes to the stress, not to the digestion.
To deal with the stress that your body's under, right?
Chemicals and stuff that's going on.
Whatever the stress is. Like it can be like a oxidative type of stress, like from radiation or something like this, or it can be like stress like your partner just dumped you, you know? Like it could be any type of stress. So because of that, like then the body's just like, well, we can't deal with this. Like we can't deal with digestion right now. Like we need to deal with this. This seems like an emergency. Like, so there's a lot of things that can get like stuck there for a really long time. I mean, I've seen a lot of things come out of the tube. And so one of the things that can come out once in a while is like this black sandy stuff, which is like old calcified, really, like sandy kind of like rock that's kind of been broken apart. Poop.
What does that mean?
It's been there for years and years and years.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's gotten to the point that it's kind of like a rock. It's like, it's become like a rock inside of you.
Do you think then, if you've been eating this stuff for years just because of life and your upbringing, that would then obviously influence your choices in what you're eating moving forward? Yeah,
everything. I mean, I've tested this many times, and one thing that has happened is that, if say that I give in and I start eating chips, my body will continue craving the chips. And crisps.
Crisps, yeah.
For the UK people.
Yeah, crisp pie.
Yeah. So it's just that. Like the things that you habitually eat are the things that you will continue to crave.
Yeah, because sometimes we had Sammy, a nutritionist lady, talking about food and intuitive eating, which is fascinating. And sometimes it's like, I know there's a voice in your head that says, oh, get that crisps or chips for the Americans, or, the chocolate, whatever. And I can see that voice, and I've been meditating for years, and I kind of, you understand the sneakiness and the little, the lies that it will tell. Oh, just this one more, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. 3 days later, you're still scoffing. Well, I'm still scoffing my face.
Yeah, I've done it. Hey,
I think we've all been there, right? But my question is, like, sometimes, and I'm just curious, is it sometimes it's something deeper that's inside us that might be making that choice, and then the voice is just like secondary?
Yeah, usually parasites.
Parasites?
Yeah.
What on earth is a parasite?
So parasites are
I've just got all
little
crazy
things that live inside of us, and we all have them. Like, if anybody is deluding themselves that they don't have these things inside of them, they're crazy, okay? We all have them. And they crave certain things, the sugars, the processed foods, the acidity, because an alkaline body does not really allow... It's not a good environment for parasites.
So an alkaline body is what? Just
So if you're eating like a very clean diet based on fruits and like leafy vegetables and things like that, that is very alkaline.
Okay.
So in
And
our
parasite.
bodies, yeah, the parasites like more acidic environments. So in acidic environment, there's certain foods and environmental factors that cause acidity in the body. So that's why, like during the colonic, sometimes we get like a lot of acidity coming out.
Yeah.
Like I've told you this.
Yeah. And as you're talking, I'm thinking, shit, I think I need to book another class. Because I can feel something moving in my belly.
Yeah.
And he's shouting out, chips.
Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, like I personally feel that it is the parasites that cause cravings in us.
This is kind of mental what you're saying right now. We've got this physical form called Brett and Sazzu here having a chat and people living on a podcast. But then you've got all of these little things, and I'm guessing like a parasite in my mind looks like a little worm or something.
There are some that look like worms and some that are very microscopic. So
Tiny little things.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see it even in the colonic. Like I see sometimes the worms come out in the colonic, but I haven't seen the ones that you can't see. So you know.
What you're saying is that these little parasites, they might be the ones that like, oh, I really fancy a craving or something.
Yeah.
Then this big human called Brett will go to the shop to get the chocolate.
Yeah.
But this is why it's crazy, because then Brett will feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
And then he'll judge himself. Like Sammy said, it was called the food police. And I don't know about you, but when I see people suffering a lot, it's mainly like the voices in their head that they're creating these sufferings, right? But it actually might just be these parasites. They're like, oh, I really want chips. I really want craving.
Yeah.
And, because I don't know about you, when you get onto this health buzz and you start enjoying poops like with you or eating healthy food, when you do feel lighter, it's like everything feels a bit better. Not that we're perfect and we're still working on ourselves, but the mind starts to calm down. The emotions are not so all over the place. We're still going to think and feel, but it seems to be a lot better than when you're just constantly craving and unconsciously doing these decisions.
Yeah.
So it might not actually just be the voices in our head that we're sabotaging ourselves. It might be if we just give ourselves a good cleanse or a good detox that we can maybe release. Can we release parasites?
We can. However, the parasite protocols are a little bit more involved, I would say.
What does that mean?
It means that it takes a really long time to release everything. And I don't know if it's even possible to release everything if you're continuing to eat like a normal diet.
So I suppose if you got healthy and you did what you're saying, like do the colonics, and then you ate healthy food, would the parasites still live in that body, or would they?
They hide in a lot of different places, not just in the colon. So you would need to do protocols with herbs and things like that. I'm actually creating one soon with herbs and tinctures and things like that.
Yeah.
But it takes a while. Like I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole because I'm still experimenting.
Next podcast.
Yeah, I'm still experimenting with that. But yeah, it's not as simple. Like if anyone is selling something to you that says like, oh, take this little bottle and all the parasites are gonna come out of you, they are lying. They are so lying. That takes. Like it can take like over a year of like intense labor work for you to get rid of those things.
And we kind of live in a society where it is take this magic potion and you'll get better. Or
Everything.
For me, what I love about what you're saying and what I've learned, getting to know you and having great poops, is that it's more of a way of life. It's a lifestyle. You don't want to just go vegan for a week and then go back to it, or have a detox once a year and then just eat crap, because it's not really. I don't think that's good. For me, it's more of a way of long term.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So. Definitely for me, colonics is a lifestyle for sure. I understand that for other people, it may not be able to be that just because it is an expense. When I was doing them at the very beginning, it was more difficult for me. And I also didn't understand their full value at the time. So if I could go back, I definitely would be doing a lot more colonics than I was doing. I was doing for a year at the very beginning.
What would you recommend, like?
It depends. So I hate giving recommendations, but I'm going to try, okay? If you're trying to heal something, doing less than once a month is the way to go. If you do longer than once a month, you're probably not going to see cumulative results. It's just not possible. So, yeah.
Once a month?
Yeah.
And do like 6 months or something like that? Just start.
Yeah, I mean, I do them once a week, dude.
Wow.
Like, and I'm trying to get up to twice a week now.
You're
Like,
over poop though. Like, I'm like, where does this all come from when we do it? I'm like, how is that still there? Because I poop every day.
no, because remember, it's not just
food.
It's not just food. And also, like, it takes a really long time to release everything that's stuck in there. Most people have like 5 to 20 pounds of poop inside. And that's like on average, people could be even more than that, like if they're heavier or whatever. The colon is a muscle and it can also expand a lot. So there could be like big pockets of poop in there.
Hiding.
You know, yeah. It's I don't want to deter people from thinking, oh, it's like a lost cause. It's not, but it's something that requires, it requires like a commitment to your life, like, and to your health. And can I share something that's that's not just so? If people cannot do colonics because, like, for example, gravity colonics are not in their area or something like that, then they can also do something like the Zen cleanse. If they need more information, they can reach out to me.
What's the Zen cleanse?
So
You can't just share a little bit. You got to tell us what it is.
okay, I'll tell you. So I'll tell you the result that I got with that, and the reason why I want to share is because I feel like it is a really good, gentle first step into doing this work without feeling the possible embarrassment or like discomfort that can come from a colonic, like, or even the time commitment that can come from having to go somewhere to get a colonic. So I did this cleanse, and the amount of stuff that came out of me was just insane. And I thought, because I do them once a week, and I am doing colonics like a lot, and I eat very clean and all of this, I thought like, oh yeah, you know, I'm good. Like, yeah, okay. It was like a rope of mucus
No way.
that came out of me, and it was like, the first one was like this thick, like super thick, right? And it was like this, and then I think there was like another one that came out like this, and then there was one that was like this long.
This is like coming out of your butt.
Yes. At some point it got stuck, and I had to like, thank God that I work in my bathroom, so there's like gloves right next to the toilet. So I took, and I was like pulling it out of me, like, to be graphic.
And if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, like, you should see my face. Go over to YouTube and look at my face right now, because I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
You literally pulled it out of your butt.
Yes, because it was stuck. Like, it was super sticky. So this is the stuff that gets accumulated in us, the mucus, like, caused by a lot of foods that we eat that are mucus forming. So it just stays in there for years and years and years. Some poop gets more calcified and becomes like rock and sand. So I see it as a black sandy thing. And some poop becomes like this huge ass rope. And that's what I got released out of me from this Zen cleanse.
So the Zen cleanse, what's the difference between a Zen cleanse? Can somebody, if they're listening to our podcast right now, they can't come to Thailand and see you.
For sure.
What can they do? They just go online, look at the Zen cleanse, and do it at home?
So yeah, like, you better to like reach out to me, because I would love to explain a little bit more. But it is just enzymes that you take, digestive enzymes. They're just from fruits and veggies and things like that. And it's a drink. Like, actually, I'm supposed to be doing one today, but I came
on the
here.
podcast, not right
No,
now.
I came here, so I was like, oh, I don't think I can do it today, so maybe I'll start tomorrow, whatever. Usually it takes one whole day, so I think for people that are working 9 to 5s and stuff, like doing it over the weekend. So the Saturday you drink the drinks, and it's just warm water and warm water with the enzymes. That's it. Like, you're just drinking that throughout the day, and then on the release day, you just release. Yeah.
I'm so glad you shared that. Thank you, because there's going to be a lot of people that will be watching this. They might not be in that situation where they can go off. Or, like, you know, it might be very embarrassing and uncomfortable for people. So if they can do something like that, I think if they're really serious about their health and they really want to sort of look at this stuff, then that is a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
So definitely get in touch with Sazzue. We'll leave all your details below the videos, and ask people to reach out to you. But yeah, I would go for that straight away.
For me, it's like I'm sharing it now with everybody because I love colonics, and there's nothing that's going to take the place of colonics in terms of lifestyle and what it can do in a lot of different ways. But it would take quite a few colonics to get the results that you get from this in one day.
Yeah.
So, and it is much gentler. I think like it does take quite a bit of time because you have to do a whole day or whatever, but you can take that day to rest.
You can
and
journal,
just,
meditate, have like a little mini retreat for yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I did.
Yeah, a lot of people watch our videos or my lifestyle, and it's like you're in Thailand and you've got the environment, but you know, I started off a long time ago in a very different environment.
Me too.
And I would just go and sit in nature and have days out by myself and like, you know, do my vision boards or do my journaling. And I never did my pooping, if I'm honest. I didn't know anything about that. And never in a million years would I think I'd be in Thailand with a tube up my bum talking to you about poop and being fascinated by it, if I'm honest. I think I'm fascinated by it more because of how I feel after. And I remember, I think the first one that we did with you, I was like, wow, I feel so light and great. And I literally, if I'm honest, I went out literally an hour later and I just stuffed myself with food.
Yeah,
because I felt so empty and weak because you pulled everything out of my butt. And I just, and I was like, wow, if I just really kind of like messed that up. But now what I've realized, because I kept coming back to you and doing more, actually over a longer period of time, I've become more in tune with my body. So I might feel that, but I don't go off and eat that. It's just, I suppose what I'm trying to say is it's helped me create more awareness over a longer period of time. Yeah.
It's definitely a normal, I had that as well. It's a normal reaction to feel uncomfortable by your emptiness. And if you look at it, not just from the physical perspective, but also from the like mental perspective, like when you have nothing that's entertaining you, especially in our society today, right? Like people want to be entertained, constantly on their phone, constantly doing something. And sometimes I just have to sit there and do nothing for like an hour. It's like, I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to lay here in bed and do nothing and force myself to do nothing. We're so uncomfortable by that emptiness, the lack of something in that space. And that's what happens also on the inside. Like when we're so empty, we're just like, this is so uncomfortable. I wanna feel heavy again. I wanna feel like there's something in there.
That's very deep, that is. Like, I mean, we definitely need to do another podcast because when you think about that, like that is probably why people are emotionally eating or going into relationships, doing everything because they want to fulfill this hole inside. And literally, you're saying physically, you're actually doing that as well with the foods that we eat, right?
Yeah.
Hello, you amazing viewer. I hope you're enjoying this video, and I've got some really exciting news for you. You know that moment when you're reading a book and it just ignites that light bulb moment for you? It wakes something up inside you, that passion, that enthusiasm, or that spark for life. Well, the big announcement is my new book, Awaken Your Spirit, is ready for either pre-order or, depending on when you're watching this book, you can order your copy right now. Over the last couple of years, I've poured my heart and soul into writing Awaken Your Spirit. I don't know about you, but sometimes that voice inside the head just never seems to shut up. Well, this book shows you a step-by-step process on how to really close your eyes and go inside and separate from this monkey mind and this never-ending conversation that goes round and round and round. Whether you're seeking inner peace, you're looking to recharge your batteries, or you want to feel more grounded and in harmony with life, this book has got something for you, and it's going to show you how to connect to a very deeper level within you. Now, I don't want to keep any more of your time. Get back to the interview. And again, if you're somebody that really is looking to get back in the driving seat of your life, master this monkey mind, reach your full potential and ignite that excitement, that enthusiasm and that passion for life, make sure you awaken your spirit just below. Have an amazing day and enjoy the rest of the video.
So I've been training, this is what I said at the beginning, like I'm working on this. Like I've been training myself to not need to be full all the time. And that is huge. It's huge in my own evolution, I think, over a long period of time. But I think it can be huge for anybody if you really think about it. Because we don't need to constantly be doing something or having something like fill every hole, you know, just sit with yourself. Be.
There's just, as you said that word be, I'm just thinking of Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese monk, and he's all about just being. He's like, breathe in, I've arrived. Breathe out, relax. And when you realize that you've arrived on this rock spinning in space, you're absolutely living in bliss. You don't need to kind of be entertained or fulfill everything, like you say, and constantly craving this stuff, because you're already full and you're already fulfilled with love and abundance and joy. So highly recommend reading Thich Nhat Hanh. He actually has got a book on how to eat.
Okay.
And it's like, you'll pray before you eat, and now in the meditation hall, it's called the Sangha. Don't quote me on that if anyone's listening, but it's basically the community of monks that live together, but they eat in silence. And and they sit down, they eat in silence. You think about now, everyone's on their mobile phone, they listen to music, and I've practiced it as much as I can. I'm not perfect, but I practice it as much as I can. And when you eat food on your own and you pray to the food, you pray to your body, and then you have silence, you have no music on, you put your phone away, the food tastes better, and obviously it's helping your digestive system, right?
Also, like another thing that I've been experimenting with is the cooking your own food that creates a completely different experience with a completely different relationship with the food. So connecting with the food while you're about to eat it, but also connecting with the food as you're actually creating it and preparing it. It just changes everything. Like, for people that are struggling, if you're eating out all the time, this is a big problem. Like, everything started kind of balancing out for me when I started eating more at home.
Nice.
So it's another tip.
Another tip.
Yeah.
So with that said, I mean, we didn't even get to go into your story, and there's a lot more we can talk about.
Yeah.
2 questions then. So I'll just ask you, how did you get from where you was before you was the poop lady to where you are now in Thailand? And then the second question, you can answer in whatever way around. What tips would you give to somebody now after they've just listened to this podcast? They're completely new to this world. This podcast is about having conscious conversations, helping people maybe take some action after they've listened to this and do something to improve any area of their life. So how did you get to become the poop lady from where you was to where you are now? And then what tips would you give somebody to go off and do?
So how did I get to become? I listened. I was guided. I don't even know how else to explain it. When I started doing the colonics in New York City, I was pretty much guided to do that work. Like, I was like, I feel really good by doing this. I feel like I should be doing this, and maybe I can do it for other people.
How did you get there to do the first one? Did you have like a bad stomach?
I was just doing raw vegan, and that was something that was recommended. So I did that first machine colonic, which was horrendous. And then I said, no, it's not supposed to be like this. Let me try the other type of colonic. And then I went again. How I went again, I have no idea, because the first one was so traumatic for me. Like, I felt like I was going to die, and I'm not joking there. So, I don't even know. But I was like guided to go to that again. So then once I found gravity colonics, I was going for a while, and then I let him go. Then I became a therapist, because I said I wanted to give to others what I received in that way. And then, like, after a few years, I stopped being a therapist for like 3 years. And then I came to the island. And then the island's like, you got to give colonics. Maybe I'm a crazy person, but the voice in my head was clearly telling me, you have to give colonics. Like, you have to give colonics. And it would not let go until I started giving colonics.
And it feels so right now you're doing it.
I'm just like, I can't even imagine doing anything else. Like, I really cannot imagine doing anything else. Like, I couldn't
label you anything else than a book lady. It'd be weird if I'm like, oh, she's the author, or she's the marketer, or she's this, or she's...
I have been many things in my life.
But now you're just a poop lady. Like, even if you change your job, you'll always be Sazzue the poop lady.
Okay,
I hope that's
good.
okay. Right?
I'm okay with that title, actually.
What I love, though, is just to kind of get in there, is that we've had many beautiful guests on this podcast, and one that sticks out to mind is Joe. You know Joe, that travels around with his piano.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he was guided to take a piano around the world, you know, which again is a message for anyone that's listening. You was guided to become the colonic queen, you know, or I was guided maybe to make the podcast, and Antonio's guided to, and I think that's a message, getting goosebumps, like I'd like to share with people. Listen to that. It might sound crazy, like a voice in your head. People will talk you out of it, but if there's something guiding you, like go for it, right? And you just don't know where you would end up.
You don't.
But if you don't go for it, you know where you end up. You'll be in the same patterns as not going for it. So that voice is kind of like your guidance, your intuition.
Yeah, especially like a little bit resistant, but it will not let me go. It won't let me go.
The voice. Yeah.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
No, you have to do this. You have to do this. Yeah. Sometimes the voice can be distraction. So you have to pay attention to see like if it stays with you. At least like the way that it works for me is like this. So say that I am already in a path and then a voice comes, oh, you need to do this. I like, okay, I listen to you, thank you. But I'm going to put this aside for a little bit and see if it comes back. And I'm going to keep on my path.
Yeah,
and
it
then
can distract you off the path.
Yes, exactly. So that's another thing that I've learned over time, that sometimes the voice is not the voice, but it's another voice that's trying to take you
How
away.
many voices have we got?
I don't know. I don't know, but I did notice that this happens to me. Like I want to get distracted. So to avoid the distraction, I just listen. I put it down. I write it down somewhere. And then I keep going. And then if it keeps coming back and coming back and coming back and it keeps annoying me, it's like, okay, now I need to pay attention.
Pay attention to it.
Yeah. So now maybe it's the time for me to do this, you know?
100%. I think for me, like for years of meditating has allowed me to understand these voices that come up. And a lot of people will message me or look up to me and they might probably think that I don't have these fears and these self-doubts or like not good enough. It always comes up for me, especially when I'm about to do something new. If I'm going to write a book or if I'm going to start a business or start a podcast or interview people, it brings up this self-doubt and then that little critical voice will come in. But for me, it's meditation is such a gift because it's how do you have a relationship with that voice? You know, whereas before I had no awareness and I'd hear that voice and I think it was true. And then I would do whatever it tells me to do and maybe not take action or give up, you know. But now it's actually become my friend. If it comes up, I'm like, oh, I must be doing something right. I'm coming out of my comfort zone, you know. I'm about to grow again. So this voice is maybe just a little bit scared. It's a little bit nervous, and that's okay, you know. You're human. So if there is a voice in your head or voices, you know, I love what you said. It's just being aware of it and seeing if it keeps coming up and it keeps coming up. Then look at it. If it just comes up to try and distract you, or like for me, talk me out of it because I'm not good enough. It's just because it's afraid of growth. That's why it's called an ego death, right? It doesn't want to come out of the comfort zone. So yeah, that's a really good tip. And then the last thing, what would you say to people to go off and do right now, even if they don't want to do the cleanse, the Zen cleanse or a colonic, but maybe just a tip about food or...
Yeah, so I don't know about food. I think everybody has a very different diet. The main things to keep in mind is food order and food combining. So that's the best thing that you can do in terms of digestion.
Can you remind us what they are again?
So food order is when you eat light to heavy throughout the day. And once you eat something heavier, like you don't want to put something that's light on top of something heavy.
So like you'd have fruits in the morning.
Fruits in the morning and then progressively eat heavier things throughout the day.
And then end on that sort of like...
End on the heaviest meal because then you have like more time to digest that. And then by the next morning, you will be empty or your stomach will be empty and then you have space to have the next meal. Food combinations is more... what are you combining with what? Some meals in this modern world are very elaborate and they want to have like 20,000 ingredients in one thing, and that's actually quite difficult to digest. Those meals tend to be really heavy and just really weigh you down or even make you sleepy. And if you're very disconnected from your body, you may not feel much. And you may feel like, oh, it's okay. But honestly, it's actually causing a lot of damage. So regardless of what it is, the rules of digestion are pretty simple. Like we should be eating simple meals and we should be eating like,
to heavy.
like light to heavy. That's it.
I think again, something that you mentioned earlier about making it normal. It's normal to be stressed, or I don't think you said it like that, but like it's kind of normal to feel tired after you've eaten food, or it's normal to feel lethargic. And I actually think it's the complete opposite. I've noticed if I eat rice, which I very rarely do, once every few months, like I'm shattered after.
Yeah, me too.
Never in a million years did I think that would happen to me. Never in a million years.
Yeah.
But now I just know that, and again, I'm not restricting myself. When you go for it, it's just okay, you're going to be tired for 30 minutes after.
Yeah.
But I think if you're constantly eating that, then you're
You will be
constantly
numb.
feeling tired.
Yeah.
That's just become normal. And no wonder why you haven't really got the energy to pursue your dreams or your goals or go out and exercise, because you're just kind of in this loop.
Yeah. And also, like, I feel not just the tiredness, but you will become numb to your body's signals, which is super problematic. Super problematic. If I go and reach for something like chips or crisps. I bring them up because they're my nemesis.
Yep, same. Crisps and chocolate.
Yeah. So if I go and reach for a bag, like my body's already giving me a signal, like telling me, And actually that signal for me is I fart.
Yeah.
Like almost immediately, my body's already feeling like I want to fart. Like this is not healthy for me.
Yeah.
Like I built that over years of me consciously like picking the things that I eat versus the things that I don't eat. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And your body's trying to kind of warn you and signal that you
it's telling me, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't you do it. Like, you know? And yeah, like I feel if you become more in tune with what you're eating, over time you will have these signals as well. But one of the biggest things that I've seen is people just being super numb to what their body is telling them, like what is good for them or not. Like some people tell me, oh, this meal is good. And I'm just like, well, the colonic is not saying that. It's actually saying quite the opposite, but you're probably not feeling it. So
because it's become normal that some way. So you're kind of, to sum that up, your thing would be to tune into yourself more in the body, whether it is some gas coming out, or hunger or something. Just really tune into the body just as much as. You should be connecting with your body every day. I mean, this is your home, like it's your temple, right?
Yeah, it's the only home you'll ever have, really, if you really think about it. So. Yeah. I
think for me, just to end the podcast, it's like, I love what you said, not just with food, but there is such an unlimited amount of potential within every human being. And we don't know that.
We don't know.
And we're so brainwashed and trained to live in a certain way and feel crappy about ourselves, whatever it is. But when you tap into that, what I get from coming to see you, or all of these other crazy things I do here on Kopang Yang, is that there's just more and more of like energy. There's more lightness. There's more freedom. It comes out more and more. So I just want to say to anybody, like, go for it. Like wherever you are now, whatever situation, like whatever you got from Sazzue talking, like go for it and just step into that, lean into it, because there is so much more inside you, literally poop, that can come out of you. Okay, right. So thank you so much for sharing, Sazzue. You're absolutely amazing. Where can people find out about the poop queen, the poop lady? Have you got any details or Instagram, and can they contact you for this Zen to cleanse?
Zen cleanse, yeah. So I'm at poop.better on Instagram.
Poop.better on Instagram.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Very simple. I try to keep it very simple. You can reach out there. I also have some information there on the Zen Cleanse, but you can just message me directly, and I'll be happy to share more about that.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah,
Have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Hello viewers, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm hoping that you enjoyed it just as much as we enjoyed making it. We love this adventure we're on, we love growing this community, and we would love you to actually help us. So I've got a favor to ask you. Make sure that you subscribe below, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and turn that notification button on, because that actually helps us with the algorithm. In other words, it's going to help us reach more people and spread this ripple effect. And I really appreciate your time and energy for watching any video. So if you've got any comments or questions or queries, make sure you pop them in the box below. By subscribing, you're going to be one of the first people to know when we release new content. If you really want to take your journey and your growth to the next level, make sure you watch this next video and have an amazing day. Once again, thank you so much for your time and your energy. See you in the next video.